This is a 5-part series on the Polkadot Parachain slot auctions. And this is video and pick number 3. The first pick was a Kala, the second was Moonbeam, and the third, the one we're going to discuss today, is none other than Astar Network, formerly known as Plasm Network. So throughout the video, if I talk about Plasm Network, then you know that it is interchangeable with Astar Network, but it is now called Astar Network. So a couple of things I'm going to answer in today's video is, what is Astar Network exactly? Why is it important to the Polkadot ecosystem? Also, we're going to discuss what is the difference between Astar Network and Moonbeam. Seen that question going around quite a bit. People don't seem to understand, is there a difference between Astar Network and Moonbeam? So I will touch on that. And then just overall, I'm going to give you a couple of reasons here and there of why you absolutely need to be thinking about this project and what it's going to mean into the future of Polkadot and just the blockchain space in general. It's important for you to remember that those Polkadot Parachain slot auctions are coming up very quickly. For you to be able to participate in the crowd loans, you have to remember that your DOT cannot be locked up. There is a 28-day unbonding period. So if your Polkadot are locked, they have to be unlocked. So that's extremely important to remember. For those that are staking their DOT currently, there was a message put out there by Polkadot for people to begin unbonding. That was over a week ago at this point, maybe 2 weeks ago. That date for the Polkadot Parachain slot auctions is November the 11th, 2021. So it is just around the corner. So you need to be prepared for it. Something you do need to know is that Polkadot actually does not have smart contract capabilities. A lot of people actually don't know that. But that's all a part of its makeup. And Astar Network hopes to be one of the parachains that makes that possible. And if you know anything about the crypto space by now, especially on a deeper level, you'll understand past Bitcoin, really all roads lead to smart contracts. That really is maybe the most important thing to cryptocurrency is smart contract capabilities. So right off the bat, you can see the importance of a project like Astar Network because of the importance of smart contracts. We make choices every single day. So let's say it is too far to walk to work and you have 3 choices of how to get there. You can take the drop top, but that's expensive and maybe you can't afford a car. You can use public transportation, which comes in various forms obviously, or you can get the bike out and you can pedal your way there. Well, with Polkadot, in the same way, you also have 3 options if you want to participate in the ecosystem. For starters, the first way is you can get a parachain slot, which is kind of like the car scenario. It may be too expensive for some teams. So what you have to understand about these parachain slots is it is not cheap. The bigger projects are the ones that are going to take up these parachain slots in the Polkadot ecosystem. Number 2, you can become a parathread. And number 3, you can build dApps on parachains such as Astar Network. So what is Astar Network? Okay, so Astar Network is a multi-chain dApp hub. What is a dApp? Decentralized applications. I think the best way to think of it is like the App Store or the Google Play Store. You have to have a platform for those apps to work upon. So the dApps obviously would compare to those apps within the App Store or the Google Play Store. And then Astar would be that platform, whether it's Apple or through Google or Android, providing you that layer. If you want to go a step further, you could also say it's somewhat like websites in the internet. If you don't have the internet, then you don't have the websites. So we're going to say that Astar would be the internet somewhat. And then on top of that, you have your dApps or you have your websites. As I've mentioned in some of the other videos that I've done on the parachain slot auctions, the brother to Astar Network that is on Kusama is Shiden Network. So remember, All these parachains basically already have canary networks on Kusama that test out things, so you already get a chance to see if it's going to work. So that should give you more faith in these projects. However, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your research when it comes to any of these projects, and certainly when it comes to finances, seek the help of a professional. So there seems to be a good deal of confusion about this project and Moonbeam. Are they similar? Are they different? What's the deal? So let me try to explain that really quickly. This project, Astar Network, is a competitor to Moonbeam. Now, just because they're competitors, do not think for 1 second that they will not be working with Moonbeam. Astar Network plans to work with basically all projects across the board, and interoperability is a big theme for Astar Network as well. To analyze the difference between Astar Network and Moonbeam, first of all, let's start off with Moonbeam. It's really set up to help operators with its Ethereum tooling to be able to take their Ethereum applications and easily use them on Polkadot through Moonbeam. So it's really focused around that Ethereum virtual machine. Now, Astar Network, like Shiden Network that is currently on Kusama, will operate and supports the Ethereum virtual machine, but also WebAssembly, which is really the key there, WebAssembly, and also Layer 2 solutions. The reason that's important is WebAssembly and WebAssembly virtual machine is considered to be the way of the future, because it was really developed in terms of the future, where the truth is the Ethereum virtual machine was not developed truly with the future in mind. That's why we have all these changes going on currently to try to work on Ethereum as a whole. WebAssembly has an extensive code language and can pretty much be used with any browser. So really the features that come along with WebAssembly virtual machine are just really geared more towards the future. And that's really where these two projects, Moonbeam and Astar Network, differ. Both very important projects and competitors in many ways, but they do have differences. That is why they will both secure a parachain slot. These videos are really brief because I really want to touch on the parachain slot auctions in time, but I always could go even deeper into it. There are a lot of features around these different projects that really make them unique, but I did want to touch on that since that's a question that's out there. But at the end of the day, these two projects, Moonbeam and Astar Network, are competitors. But in the world of interoperability, they will be working together. One thing that gives Astar Network a notch on its belt is its pretty long-term relationship by now that it's had with the Web3 Foundation. And Gavin Wood, the founder of Polkadot, is a fan and supporter of Astar Network himself. So that does help. They've gotten numerous Web3 grants. If you can kind of put two and two together, the level of support they've gotten from Web3 Foundation should tell you that both of these projects, Polkadot and Astar Network, are already on board with each other. So we can pretty much see that that relationship is going to continue and the parachain slot is going to happen. One of the biggest features about Astar Network are its incentives. They have dApp staking, and you can stake your Astar Network to validators, and validators receive 50% of the block rewards. dApp developers receive 40% of the block rewards. So you're incentivized to build dApps on Astar Network. That really right there is a true key around the whole project, which ultimately is going to pull projects from other blockchains and work with other blockchains. Also on top of that, made easier due to the WebAssembly virtual machine. It's basically making it as easy as possible for those that want to participate in the Polkadot ecosystem via using Astar Network and building dApps on Astar Network. And 10% of the rewards go to the nominators. So we have this ecosystem where the rewards are really great, and that makes up that 100% of the block rewards. And just as an example, let's assume that PLM, which now is Astar Network, has a price of $1 with a total supply of 70 million PLM or Astar tokens. This gives PLM a market cap of 70 million. We have 10% inflation a year, so that means after 1 year of running the blockchain, assuming no change in price, we would have created 7 million USD worth of PLM tokens. Block rewards are split between validators, dApps, and nominators at a 5-4-1 ratio, which equates to 3.5 million, 2.8 million, and 800,000 respectively. And if you don't have any nominations, then you don't get that income or those rewards. So you do have to have some nomination. If you're able to maintain an average of 1% of all nominations, you'll receive $28,000 at the end of 1 year. $28,000 might not sound like a lot, but it is more than enough to cover your basic expenses. It's our version of universal basic income for operators. Just to reel it all in, you're going to be paid for operating on Astar Network as a developer, and if you do a good job and you're nominated, even at just 1%, $28,000 USD, which they said covers your expenses or should cover most of your expenses. We're not seeing that anywhere else in the blockchain space. Astar Network, I believe, is going to do very, very well moving into the future, and it will secure one of those parachain slots. I hope that I made it fairly easy to understand. At the end of the day, this is another project, a very good project that's going to operate with Polkadot, has interoperability, it has incentives to pull developers over, it has incentives to help developers come on to the project as well. All that together is going to make it an extremely good project. Really can't say enough about Astar Network. I actually am calling this project the sleeper. I think a lot of people are going to sleep on this project. A lot of the reason is because of the hype that's going to be around Moonbeam, because of how Moon River did, and that hype around the Glimmer token. But I would not sleep on Astar Network. If you haven't seen my video on Moonbeam, by the way, click on the link above. You can check out that video. You can also take time at the end to watch the Acala video and realize and remember that these parachain slot auctions are coming November the 11th this year. I'll be following up pretty soon with my 4th pick in the parachain slots. This market is about to be on fire. For those of y'all that have not been in crypto that long, please, please, please have a plan. I know it's easy to get into these lofty goals. Bitcoin, 500,000. You will get wrecked. You have to have a plan. The last thing I want is for those of you that have gotten into crypto and are really excited about it to leave this market empty-handed. The truth is, it takes time. There is no get rich overnight. But what I've learned over several years now is if you're willing to be patient, put in a lot of work in the bear market, certainly this next one coming up, the wealth you can obtain will blow your mind. Please make sure you have a plan. If you have any questions for me or just my opinion on things, let me know in the comments. Leave a comment. Let me know if you're familiar with Astar Network. Let me know any questions you have about it. Make sure to hit the like button. I really appreciate when you take time to leave a comment, any type of comment at all. I think most people will say that I do try my best to literally answer every single one. The like button helps the algorithm. The comments do as well. Make sure if you want to catch my future content and see when it drops, that you hit the bell for notification. And take a second to share my content with someone else. Crypto is here to stay, and I will be here as well, right along with it. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.